Okay, let me just take a moment here, make sure I got everything like it needs to look. Okay, so in 3 minutes, welcome, wonderful people, people who are here. In 3 minutes, we will get started. So just hang tight. Hello. And yeah, if you have anything you want to say or anything, feel free to bring it up to talk or text. Um, and I'll say a whole bunch of stuff in 2 minutes. I hope you are having a wonderful day. My day was a whole bunch of things, which is a lot to say for someone who spent all of it inside his house. But my day was a whole bunch of things. I got a lot of work done today. I'm a college professor, and school starts on Monday, so I had to get all my stuff together. I've been on vacation for the last 3 months, which has mostly been in my house, staycationing, but lots of sleeping and doing nothing and getting stoned and doing nothing and going to the beach and processing my feelings and whatnot. So now I got to kind of like get it together and go back to like the real world and being busy 9 to 5 and everything all over again. So it's also really hot. I got a fan, so I'm managing. At either rate, whatever. These are first world problems. Who can I complain about? What am I complaining for? So yeah, everything's going just fine. Uh-oh. Everything's going just fine. Feel free to tell me how you're doing too. Ah, great to hear. I agree. It's been really hot. Whew, no kidding. It's been really hot. You know. Can I use the audio? Absolutely. Absolutely. Feel free.
Hello there.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Oh, my day has been really good.
Yeah.
And I agree, today is hot, but the sunshine is out and windows are open and it's nice.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful day. I really can't complain. But that won't stop me.
Oh, hi, Aiden.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Aiden.
Oh, hey
Hi,
there.
Aiden.
How's it going there? Well, I know you.
Yeah, that's how I found out about you.
Right on, right on, right on. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, and it's 5 o'clock. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, welcome, wonderful people. This is Emotions for Dummies, and I am Dr. Donny, and Donny is my name. Actually, happy to say I got a legal name changed about 2 months ago. I took my last name off, so I am now Dr. Donny, or just Donny, anyway. So you get the right to name yourself as an adult. So there you go.
Mm.
So this class is about getting in touch with your feelings. Um, um, and that's what we're going to do from start to finish. I use I should say a little bit who I am in case you don't know who I am. I'm a college professor at CSU East Bay in Hayward. I'm a sociology professor, so I teach classes in race, class, gender, sexuality, as well as youth inequality, or what's called adultism, or childhood sociology. Is where I focus that material. And that process has led me to also teaching social emotional learning, which is all about getting in touch with your feelings. And through that, I have put together a workbook called the Book of You, or this class, which is where this class comes from. So this is actually a college course that I put together. You are getting the first half of the college course kind of crammed into a 1 month process in this class. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the material? And then I will provide the link as well. So that way you can have permanent access to this stuff too. So this is the Google document. Let me just go ahead and click on this to share the link. And let me find where that chat thing went. Hold on, here we go. Okay. So taking people from what's a feeling. This class is designed because it's for the public, right? So this, like my college courses. So this class is designed to take you from what's a feeling all the way to this is a feeling, I don't like it, but I can handle it. Okay, that's the idea there. And yeah, so just be aware of that. Just to go through what we did last week, we had a self care plan here where you can do these things on your own. Just filling out ideas about what do you do when you feel things you might have a hard time dealing with. We had an intro to mindfulness meditation in case you've never meditated before at all. I led everyone into a meditation. You can read that also. We had an exercise. Actually, we also did an exercise on healing from trauma. So we talked about trauma, and then we had a series of exercises to help us process our trauma. Okay, so you can go read that as well. The descriptions of all that stuff there. And then there's an exercise we did on how to tell yourself the truth. Because if you process your feelings but don't tell yourself the truth, you might not be doing yourself a favor there. You might be making things more difficult if you tell yourself a bunch of lies, right? So we had an exercise on telling yourself the truth. So this week we are going through a list of emotions, talk about our feelings, putting our feelings into words. Then we have an exercise in self-love, acceptance, and validation. If anybody wants to say anything, please feel free to use the chat or to speak. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm here to read what you have to say. Okay, let me put that away for a second. Okay, so self-love, acceptance, and validation. We have an exercise there, and then we're going to go into the second half of the class. Is a Byron Katie Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Byron Katie is a spiritual. Byron Katie is a woman in California who came up with this method for questioning your thoughts called the work. And so she has a worksheet called this Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, where you take all the statements you make about someone else and then turn them around and make them about you. So that way, every piece of advice. Well, we often tell children every time you point a finger at someone, you've got 3 other fingers pointing back at you. So this worksheet is the great opportunity to look at all the fingers you point back at you. Okay. All the fingers pointing back at you. Okay. So it's a really wonderful way to develop some open-mindedness. Okay. So that's what this week is. So let's go. Let's give it a shot. Let's start with
can I just ask a question?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, is this recorded?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yes, this is going to be recorded. This is a recorded meeting. So please feel free to use your microphone and video accordingly to what you feels right for you.
Or do you blur out the face? Participants.
So I'm going to make that. That's up to you. Everything that's here is here. I am not the most tech savvy human being. So I don't even know. I'm not entirely sure how I would even do that. Okay.
Okay.
If I figure out
I think that's done with editing.
Okay. Well, so I'll leave it up to you. I want to make it clear I am recording this though. It will be
okay. Thank you.
It may be possible to move everyone out of the thumbnail videos like this. And thank you for bringing that up so that way I can address these. If I click. Oh, I see. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, so yeah, but I am going to put all this on YouTube because I want people to get these resources. So yeah, please feel free to take your video off. Okay, so before we get started, and if at any time you would like me to pause the recording, if you want to say something, I am really here for the people who show up, okay? I really am very serious about that. So if anytime you need me to pause something so we can talk, feel free, okay? The most important thing for me is that the words I'm reading end up on the video, so that way if people watching the video can get what's on the worksheet. At any point in time, I can pause that so we can talk on a personal level in terms of the class, okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. First and foremost, okay, so like now might be one of those times, okay? So we're going to go through this emotions list. So I'm going to read these words here. And I should also say this class is designed to be relaxing, or as relaxing as possible, okay? Digging into our feelings is not easy. It's just not easy ever. And so it's important to foster whatever spaces of comfort, safety, stillness, security that we can for ourselves. So whatever you need to build that self-care for you, please do it, okay? Whether that's If you want to read along, great. If you don't want to read along, great. You can sit down, lay down, go just lay down in bed. You can eat chips while you're doing this. If you need to have a drink or smoke some pot while you're doing this, whatever you need to do, we're gonna just you can just listen to these words and then go along with the meditations we're doing. The main point of all of this is to really let this information sink into the heart. Okay, the heart's where our feelings are. So we got to. That's what we're trying to get in touch with today. Okay, you can always come back and read this stuff later. And so whatever you need to feel relaxed. Okay. So in this class, we're going to learn how fundamental emotions are to life. Despite how important they are, most people only have a few words to describe how they feel, like fine, which I learned in the mob movie The Italian Job stands for fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Even worse, most of the time when people ask, how are you doing? They often don't really want an answer. It just becomes something to say to introduce conversation. In this class, I will ask you how you are doing every class, and I want you to experience actually going inside and labeling your feelings. Using this emotions list, I will encourage you to move beyond just good, fine, okay, or bad, and work to develop a more in depth vocabulary. Also, it's 100% to express both negative and positive feelings. You don't ever have to lie or fake what you feel. As college students, this is also useful for creating more descriptive adjectives for the people you discuss in your writing assignments. Oh, okay, so that's useful stuff for college students, right? Okay, so let's take a look at that before we go forward. There's a list here. Now it's all sideways, so let me see. If I Google emotions list Byron Katie, more than likely, here we go. Shows up right side up here. Take a look at this. So, is this question 4? No, this is question 3. Oh, 1 second. There's 2 lists of emotions here, so let me make sure I get both of them. Okay, so one list here is all the negative emotions. Okay, angry, depressed, confused, helpless, indifferent, afraid, hurt, sad, judgmental. And if you're not, well, I'll say this in 1 second. There's a list here of negative emotions and a list of positive emotions on the other side. If you're reading along, feel free to read along and look through the list and see what resonates for you. And if anything resonates for you, to just say it out loud, say it to yourself, type it in, whatever you want to do. And if you're not reading along and you're just listening to this, just work on your vocabulary. Close your eyes and ask yourself how you feel and see what words you can pick. See what words come up and see if you can find adjectives for those words. If you said you felt, well, let's say it's really hot. So let's say if I said I felt exhausted because it's really hot, or sweltering, how about that? So, hot is a feeling, okay? So what's other words for hot? Sweltering, burnt out, maybe, overheated, cooked, um, steaming. Okay, so whatever you're feeling, just see what kind of adjectives you can make with your feelings. Let's just take a nice, solid couple of minutes here and take a feeling and see if you can explore some adjectives, just trying to put it into words. Ask yourself, how do you feel today? Has anyone asked you how you feel today? Someone just asked me. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Tired. Okay, tired. Stressed. And keep coming up with other adjectives. Like, what's another word for tired that might explain how you feel? We're just like creating a map, or like what's the word? Like a palette of colors. Just explain how we feel. Drained, maybe. exhausted, pulled too thin, or maybe confused and tired, low energy, low energy. And hey, let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel these words. Just see the effect they have on your body. Just listen to our feelings. How deep do they go? So often people go, "How's it going?" Especially here in California. OMG. People say, "How's it going?" You just go, "Fine." And then you just just keep on moving. Sometimes if people actually stop and think of an answer, well, I'll just say my experience out here is if people stop and think of an answer, it's often like a thing to say or something that works well in the conversation. People often don't get real vulnerable all of a sudden. We all have a waterline of when we talk to people, and we all decide to stick up above the waterline or go below the waterline. And a lot of people don't go below the waterline here. And it kind of creates an environment of you don't expect other people to go below the waterline, which is just really kind of empty sometimes. We all really crave that deeper conversation, those deeper connections. Hmm. Yeah, so just notice what you feel, whatever this journey's bringing up for you. These positive emotions too. And you might be in a great place right now too. You might be feeling wonderful. Wonderful, that's a feeling. If you were feeling wonderful, that what other words you have for wonderful? Easygoing or excited, looking forward to something in the future, anticipating. You know, just this is all about just coming up with adjectives. A lot of us, the only words we got is good, bad, happy, sad. And there's just so many more words. There's so many more words. Feelings are really like a palette of colors. If every feeling's important and everyone's needed, every feeling is needed to be whole, then there are no such thing as good and bad feelings. There are just feelings. So every feeling is like a color. And you're just mixing them together in various ways to understand your options, right? Unfortunately, honestly, after doing all this work, I can say we should never label any feeling a bad feeling, but we all do, and so that's why we have to put some work into getting in touch with our feelings. Hopeful and resourceful. Oh, that's wonderful. And resourceful, that's a great word for explaining hopeful too. I like that. Mm. Calm, inspired. And whatever you write down, let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel it. Scan your body. Let yourself feel it. Full bodied feeling. Wonderful. That's great. Grounded. Oh, that's wonderful. In the zone. Is that a feeling? You bet it's a feeling. It's a feeling. I always, if you said it, it's a feeling. Or we can turn it into one. I can promise you that. Okay. The only thing I ever say it's not a feeling is when people say, "Well, I feel like you saying it like this," because that's not a feeling, really. That's you turning around a comment. But there's a feeling there too. There's a feeling in that also. All right. Disagreement, confusion, defense. Those are all feelings. There you go. In the zone is absolutely a feeling. You can definitely feel out of the zone too. So I'm aware of that feeling. So there you go. In the zone's definitely a feeling. Okay, well, wonderful. Hey, that was wonderful. I'm so glad you all had so many things you could come up with there. Okay, so practice that. Practice that always. Well, let me see if I can get to my screen here. Right here. There we go. So practice that. Practice, and we're going to do a bit of that as we move on. Okay. The important thing there is you have so many words. I mean, like our words are important, powerful tools here. We have so many words for getting in touch with our feelings, and yet we often don't use them. And then often the society we live in doesn't help us to use them either. So we have to give that to ourselves. And we used to live in a world where people read books, like like for fun, like fiction. Fiction is full of words that describe feelings and everyday life and that sort of thing. If you don't read fiction anymore, then those words are kind of gone to you. Just something to think about. Okay. So that's part one. Part two, the rest of this hour, we're going to go through an exercise. We're teaching ourselves self-love. Okay. So that term might be a foreign concept to you. So just to take a moment, since we're talking about feelings, to think about what kind of feelings that brings up for you. I can remember a time in my life when people said self-love and a feeling of confusion came up. Or frustration came up. Okay, so just take note, since we're talking about feelings and putting them into words. What feelings, what words come up for you around self-love? Okay. We're not here to judge what we feel. This is a really no judgmental zone here, okay? We're in the zone of no judgment. Okay, we're looking at feelings. Foreign. Yeah, foreign feeling. Right on. Right on. Okay, so whatever you feel, not here to judge it. Just notice, like you were noticing earlier. You can put a word to it, great. And just sit with it for a bit. Make friends. Unnatural. Yeah, make friends with this feeling for a bit. If this was a friend who just came over, or you were meeting them at a cafe. They're important though. You wanted things to work out with this friend. So how do you want to treat this friend? Okay. Whatever you're doing, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable with this friend, I would highly recommend giving it a shot. Okay. Making some tea. I had some tea earlier. Okay. Acceptance. Oh, you. How wonderful. I'm loving all these words are all coming up with. This is so good. And actually, yeah, acceptance is right here too. And, yeah, of course that's what should come up. That's absolutely what should come up. Oh, capacity. Oh. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Hey, yeah, right on. So whatever you need to give yourself some self-love, some care in this moment as I read these words, please do it. And I'll just mention some things from the last class, but giving yourself a hug, rubbing yourself, tapping various parts of your body, moving your eyes from side to side, which is what is known as EMDR, moving your eyeballs from side to side. Oh, this headset of mine is keeps falling out here. Moving your eyes from side to side. Okay, any stretches you might need. Holding a stuffed animal. Like I said, I mentioned some tea. Okay, whatever you need to be comfortable as I read these words, go for it, okay? Many of us struggle with loving ourselves. Luckily, however, according to modern physics, spiritual people, and hippies, love has been found to be the energy of the universe itself. With the origins of the Big Bang came the beginnings of consciousness and love. So self-love is about developing a deep consciousness and unconditional appreciation of your role in the universe. This is why meditation can be so healing. Also, if love is the essence of the universe, then no one can give love or receive love from someone else. Love is just what's left when we're not attached to the judgments of our negative thoughts and feelings, or what I call the five frustrations of life: our assumptions and expectations, judgments, preferences, requirements, beliefs, attempts to manipulate and control things beyond our control, what I call the frustrations of life. When we do not feel love, it is not because it isn't there. It is because we are actively thinking and believing things that block us. One second. Thinking and believing things that block us from experiencing our true inner nature. In religious terms, this is what is meant by God is love, or whatever higher power of your understanding. Aiden says delusions. Most of us have learned a definition of love that is radically different than this. We have learned from infancy that we have to love someone, like family or community, or get someone to love us, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. And that we have to show it by doing the right things or saying the right words. If we went through anything abusive, we may learn that love comes with fear and pain. However, these things are conditional love. They are more about acting, manipulating, control, and denial to get someone's approval, which, unlike real love, can lead to self abandonment, superficial relationships, and repressed feelings. Unlike our ego's desire to get what we want, unconditional love is about accepting something as it is, for what it is, and for what it isn't. That second part's kind of important there. Accepting something as it is, for what it is, and for what it isn't. So, the key to developing self love is through self acceptance. Self acceptance is about accepting the reality of what is happening inside of us. It's about moving away from our ego judgments and positive, negative feelings about right, wrong, good, bad, success, failure, and embracing a larger acceptance of who we actually are, not who we or others think we should be. Allowing our self talk to be more accepting increases our ability to love others and the world as it is too. We develop self acceptance through internal validation. We've been taught our whole lives to seek validation through external things like money, grades, clothes, degrees, or through other people like our friends or romantic partners. Oh, your mic sounds windy in the background. That's because I have this fan on because it's so hot today. Okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me do this. I can turn the fan on and turn it in the opposite direction. There we go. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Let me know if that's better. I think, okay. I, I, I turned it off for like 5 seconds, but then like I turned it back on because I got hot. Actually, you know what? Screw it. You know what? I'm gonna take this jacket off too. It's trying to look cool, but you know what? That's all right. There we go. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat this. We develop self-acceptance through internal validation. We've been taught our whole lives to seek validation through external things like money, grades, clothes, degrees, looking cool, or through other people like our friends, our romantic partners, through people pleasing behavior, faking it to blend in, or needing people to like us or think of us as good. However, healthy validation means being able to validate our own feelings for what they are, as they are, without needing approval from anything or anyone else. Anything you feel is valid because you feel it. You can be totally wrong about why you feel that way, and your feeling is still 100% completely valid. This teaches us to honor our emotional boundaries and helps to build better, healthier relationships with ourselves and others. Human beings are all doing the best that they can, so our ability to love can only move at the level of our consciousness. While unconditional love is not easy to give to or get from others, if you don't give yourself unconditional love, you will always feel something negative, bad, missing, or empty. This exercise will offer you an opportunity to work on your self-love, acceptance, and validation by feeling through the positive, negative range of your emotions and offering some statements to help you learn to say loving, validating things to yourself. Since negative judgment is one of our greatest coping mechanisms, validating yourself at first can feel like speaking a foreign language. So practice, practice, practice. Examining our self-talk and talking to ourselves creates space for our unconscious child parts to feel internal validation. This exercise is extremely useful for any feelings of hurt, pain, fear, and shame, the hardest things to feel through. Okay, so before we begin the exercise, we're just going to do a little self-explore since we're dealing with our feelings and putting them into words. But let's start by naming all the ways that we seek external validation, because it's just good to know. Ask yourself, why do you seek? Why do you seek it? What do you get out of it? And what are you giving up internally so you can have it externally? Okay, so let's see. What's my example here? Well, wanting to look cool. I just said that one. So there you go. Why do I seek that one? Well, well, there's a certain power behind people thinking you got it put together, that you look attractive. There's definitely a like a power, a privilege, and beauty power and privilege. Hmm. Hmm. It's a way to protect yourself from other people's judgment. Mm, Negative judgment, anyway. Okay, what am I giving up internally so I can have it externally? I'm giving up just liking myself for as I am, without having to look all coiffed up, without having to look. I'm giving up. I'm giving up an acceptance of who I am completely, like completely, 100, so that I can look perfect externally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, on a related subject, I often will not wear sweatpants in public. It's something I just have never really done. It's not really my thing. But I decided with this COVID-19 stuff happening to just say fuck it, and I wore sweatpants for about a week straight, and it was very liberating. It was very liberating. Okay, but think of some more. Just maybe three. This is not to make you beat yourself up here. This is all done with the attitude of building love for ourselves. So if you can just think of one or two or three, some way you seek external validation. Maybe we'll just take a minute here. Yeah, and this is a great exercise for seeing how honest you can be with yourself.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Wherever you're at on that, just honor your feelings there. Oh, look, we got an example here. Wearing clothes that might garner me attention. Absolutely. 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 Right. Oh my God, I so have this one as well. You know how many times I wear something so people can go, "Oh my God, I love your sweater." Okay. Those pants are so cute. Okay. I like the thing in your hair. Absolutely. I got whole friendships that started because of things like that. Okay, so wherever you are, just honor whatever you're feeling. Okay, honor whatever you're feeling. We're going to move on to the next exercise here, which is taking it a little deeper. So, our judgments and our feelings are strongly correlated. So, using the exercise from week one on how to tell the truth, which is on the left side there, we can line up both our feelings and judgments from positive to negative or love to hate. We can arrange this in steps that gradually move from one to the other or expand the number of categories. Okay. So the exercise was how to tell yourself the truth. And you start with anger, get out all, you pick a topic, start with anger, get out all your feelings, move on to hurt, get out all your feelings, move on to love. I'm sorry, fear, then understanding, then love. You just get all your feelings out one at a time and you work your way up the scale. So basically, that's the same thing as moving from hate all the way up the scale to love. And so we could break that up into, let's say, hate, dislike, maybe a neutral category, then like and love. Or we could expand that into a much larger set of categories like hate, can't accept, don't understand, don't know, neutral, no opinion, no thought, recognize, no, understand, accept, and love. Okay, and then doing it that way allows us to expand hate to love all the way into, 8 or 9 categories there. So we can really step by step go through all of our feelings. Okay. So note, in the middle of all of these, there is a neutral feeling. We move from positive to negative quickly. So it's important to know what neutral or no thought would feel like. And then we can use the neutral zone here to examine our 5 frustrations of life. Like I said, the assumptions, expectations, preferences, requirements, beliefs, attachments, judgments, comparisons, and attempts to manipulate and control. Hmm. Okay, so for the rest of the hour, this is a meditative exercise. Okay, so stay in your meditation. If you're already there, stay there. And if not, just know that we're moving deeper and deeper into the meditative part of this. Okay. Yeah, so just notice your breath. I always say when we go into meditation mode, just notice your breath. People have a tendency to close their eyes and do a sort of like, yogi pose kind of thing. And as someone who's done 20 years of meditation now, I can say that you don't need to do any of that. If you decide to join a monastery, though, you really should learn those things because otherwise you might get beat up. But otherwise, if you're just doing this for your own inner knowledge, you do not need to close your eyes or hold a certain posture. The most important thing you need to do is stay in touch with your breathing. Your breathing is happening whether you want it to or not. And so it is the quickest way to get in touch with the present moment. Bam, you're just there. Okay. So notice your breathing. Bring some mindfulness to your breathing. Were you breathing? The assumption is you were, right? So let's see. Is your breathing deep or is it shallow? Is it in the chest or in your belly? Did it change when I said bring your mindfulness to it? If you are willing, can you slowly slow your breath down? And what's most interesting is that if you just get in touch with the breath and slow it down, you know what? The eyes fall on their own. The body relaxes into a posture on its own. Okay, so the first part of this is to start by naming something you got no opinion about, because we want to really get to know neutral zone. Okay, so let's pick something that you know would really bug you. And feel free to type in your example or mention your example, but I'll use my examples if no one picks anything. And my example today is the post office. Woke up this morning to see video of people taking away post boxes because Donald Trump's administration does not want people voting by mail. And just seeing the mailboxes get taken away really did something to me this morning. That's one of the most undemocratic things I think I've ever seen in my life. Okay, okay, that brings up feelings. Okay, so what I like to do is see the image in your mind, see an image of what you're talking about, what bugs you. Okay, I'm seeing the post office boxes get ripped up. They're putting them on the trucks. They're driving away. And then I think of something that has no meaning, just a total, I don't care anything about that thing in this moment, okay? Like, okay, I'm seeing the post office boxes get put onto the truck and I'm looking at the grass on the curb. There's just, little blades of grass on the curb. I have no thought whatsoever about the blades of grass on the curb, okay? So I'm going to sink into that so that way I can know what neutral would feel like. Okay, grass on the curb. And just to be fair, this happens for positive and negative feelings. You can do this for both. So I could imagine, what's a good feeling? Well, a good feeling for me would be if I went down to I'm in Santa Cruz for the year. So if I went down to the boardwalk and the boardwalk was open and all the rides were open and I had a season pass, I look down and I see I have this season pass and I'm about to use it, that would make me really happy. Okay? Focus on that image, me holding the season pass, the rides are open. Something I got no concern about. Popcorn on the ground. Popcorn on the ground. No thought about the popcorn on the ground. No thought about that. So I'm going to anchor into that. Look at that popcorn. Nobody's paying attention to that popcorn. No thought. Neutral. Okay, that's part one. Just notice how you feel. Neutral can be a weird place because we move from love to hate like quick, real quick. And so yeah, so neutral can be an interesting space. Okay, the next one is to pick something that we know we like or love, and then take it all the way up the positive side of the scale. Okay, so so yeah, let's do that. Think of three things that you, let's just go with like. Three things you like. Let's just say pick one topic. So I would either focus this on yourself or on the world. And if you haven't done this before, I would focus on the world. If you have done this before, you might want to focus on yourself. If you have not done this before, I would say focus on the world, though. That just gives you a little distance. Okay, so what's something you like about? Pick something. I'm going to pick dinner. I'm going to pick dinner because dinner is going to happen sooner than later. So what's three things I like about dinner? I like that dinner is a big meal. I like that. I like that. I like cooking. I like cooking dinner. I like about dinner. I like that dinner is supposed to represent family, like heart, caring. I like that. It represents that for me in my life when I cook dinner for me. Okay. I pick something lighthearted like dinner. You know, I mean, you're welcome to pick whatever you want, what works for you. If you want, you can also pick 3 things you like about yourself. Sometimes, for some of us, that can be easy. And for some of us, that can be excruciatingly hard. And the next thing is to find 3 things you love about that topic or about yourself. Love. 3 things I love about dinner. If you can't find anything, you gotta let this energy sink into your heart. If it helps any, you can put your hand on your heart and just sort of sit there for a bit. Let it stir up. What do I love about dinner? What's well, what stirs up for me is seeing my mother cook dinner. That dinner represented mother's love. Dinner represented mother's love for me growing up, big time. I don't think my dad ever cooked dinner. Maybe like 4th of July. That's barbecue. That's about it. Hey, but even then, that dinner represented love too. Dinner represents love. That's one thing I love about dinner. Something else I love about dinner. Well, dinner represents sharing. You can cook for other people. I mean, even cooking for yourself is a kind of sharing because you're showing yourself that you care enough to like maybe eat healthy or eat the things you like. Take the time. You're taking time to do something for you. Something else I love about dinner. It gives you an opportunity to be creative. You get sick of cooking the same thing over and over. You got to figure out how to keep it spicy. Buy some new spices. Try a different cookbook. Grab some ideas somewhere. Take on some new ideas. It's constantly taking on new ideas. Some people are really good at this, and they have recipe books they put together, and they become cooks themselves. But there's the whole world full of people out there who are just cooks who cook for people because they just like cooking and learning. They just like learning. That's a beautiful thing. I'm seeing so many people make bread and stuff on YouTube now. I would love to make a sourdough pizza crust. Well, I would love to eat that. And at some point I probably should try, give it a shot. But I certainly love the idea that there are people making it. And should one day I come in possession of it, I will love eating it. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so there you go. There you go. So we just went through it, and whatever you picked, you know, just notice how you feel. But this is what we just did. We just took something, we had a neutral moment, and then we just took something and we went from like to love. Okay, we just explored a range of our feelings there. Okay, so just take note of that. Okay, so now the real exercise here, or what I like to call the full Monty, is to take something from hate all the way up to love. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so find whatever your topic is. I always say you can pick a topic, something going on in your life. Like I'll do the mailboxes. Okay. You're welcome to pick a topic. You're welcome to just pick something you hate. Pick something you know you hate. So then that way, you immediately got something you can work on that will be juicy. Okay. Okay. So give yourself lots of time. Breathe through this. Okay. Give yourself lots of space here. Okay. Okay. So pick that thing you hate. Dislike or hate. Well, those words all sort of mean the same thing, really. Reject, hate, dislike.
My answer to that is to pick the thing to pick the word that emotionally, yeah, that's right. I think hate is stronger. Pick the word that really hits the bottom, right? We're taking this from love to hate. I'm sorry, hate to love. So whatever, if hate don't work for you, pick the word that does work for you. Okay, that gives you the really charge. The opposite is love. So whatever the opposite of love is for you, the total negative, pick that word and then find something that represents that for you. Okay. Like heaven and hell, right? So if love is heaven, what's hell? And whatever that is for you, pick an example. Okay. And it might be hate. It might be hate. In this moment, the mailbox thing. Yeah, no, we're gonna go with hate. Yeah. That's fine with me. Okay, so wherever you're at, just notice your breath. At any time, if you start to feel things that are hard to feel, you can always return to the breath, okay? And always just remind yourself you're just sitting in front of a computer taking something in here, okay? Nothing's really happening, okay? That's something to just keep in mind, okay? It's all just going on in our mind. That's where stuff's really happening anyway. Okay, so let's start with hate. Name that thing you hate. State it as I hate it. I hate that Donald Trump is taking away all the goddamn mailboxes because he doesn't want people to vote. He doesn't want people to vote Democratic. Okay, name 3 reasons why you hate it. 3 reasons. For each of these, we're going to name 3 reasons, okay? I hate that because I hate how people will use their pettiness, and people will focus on their pettiness instead of focusing on democracy, the larger issue. I hate that. Wait, you hate judgmental people. Okay, so you may want to use judgmental people as your example here. That's a fantastic one. Okay, 3 reasons why you hate judgmental people. Okay. Okay, so my example is the mailbox. So let me see here. Another reason why I hate the mailbox is people getting rid of the mailboxes. The pettiness. I hate that. I hate that people are trying to do everything they can to vote, and instead of making it easier, they're making it harder. I hate waking up every day to find yet another piece of information about struggling. That's something related to some hard times, making things difficult. Yes. Okay. Okay, wherever you are on that, just take notes. If you need another answer. If you don't come up with anything, you gotta let it just sit and stew. Okay, sit and stew. Like cooking. Okay, next is can't accept. What is it about this thing you picked that you can't accept? Honestly, I can't accept that I just can't say no and put the mailbox back. I can't accept that a better alternative wasn't offered when they took them away. I can't accept Donald Trump doing whatever he thinks he can to try and rig the election in his favor. Excuse me. Hey, whatever may come up, it's okay. You may burp and cry and all sorts of things. Whatever you and whatever you feel, it is totally okay. Okay. Okay, the next is don't understand. What is it about this thing you picked that you don't understand? I don't understand why people didn't stop them from taking the mailboxes. I don't understand how I don't understand how he can just block the funding and take them away. How no one can just stop him. Why that can just happen? How he has the ease of making that happen? I don't understand that. I don't understand how Donald Trump can be so short-sighted, so short-sighted. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with these feelings of irritation that keep coming up for me just from something like waking up and turning on the news. Okay, whatever came up for you, just make space. Hmm. Whatever came up for you, just make space. Ooh. Okay, next is don't know. Don't know. What is something about this you can say you don't know? I don't know what the next thing's going to be. The next problem. I don't know if I have the energy to constantly keep taking on negative news. I don't know if I can be okay with all this fraud. I mean, whatever happens with the election, there's just so much fraud involved in the whole system. I just don't know if I can be okay with all this fraud. Okay. Okay, next is no opinion, no thought. Find something, see the image in your mind of what's bugging you, the thing you picked, and find something you got no opinion about at all in that scene. Blade of grass in the corner, crack in the wall, a bug crawling by, something, something. Okay, I'm going back to that blade of grass on the sidewalk. That blade of grass is still there, whether the mailboxes are there or not. That blade of grass is still there. Or maybe it got ran over or skateboarded over by somebody. It's just a blade of grass. No biggie. That blade, who knows? The ancestors of that blade of grass, who knows what they saw? If grass could talk, like a whole massacre could have happened right there. And that blade of grass just stood right there. Okay, the wisdom of that blade of grass comes from something. Okay. And while we're here, let's take a moment, whatever you picked, and examine your assumptions and expectations. Any assumptions or expectations going on here? I'm assuming they can't just put him back. Maybe some order can happen. I'm assuming I have to go to a mailbox to mail off my ballot, but I probably could just go into the polling place and drop it off. Any assumptions I'm making? Well, one assumption I'm making is that the term I call Donald Trump short-sighted. But I mean, that's very relative. There are people who have to get by day to day. And if you're trying to get by month to month, that person looks short-sighted. But to the person who focuses maybe year to year, like the tortoise, to the tortoise, the hare looks short-sighted. So I guess it's all relative. Hmm. There are people who live day to day, live on the spur of the moment, and they're exciting, fun people. They don't make me feel the way Donald Trump feels. I feel about Donald Trump. I don't know if I necessarily feel a boss should be that short-sighted. But hey, you know what I'm realizing here? This is all my judgment here. This is all my judgment. It's like I can't vote him out of office, so I'll judge him. I'll judge him out of office. Oh, okay, something like that. Something like that. I can't hit him. I can't hit him. I can't set him on fire. So I'll just use my judgment. Try to set something on fire anyway. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, you can drop off the ballot. That's absolutely right. You know, is all hope lost? I feel that way, but is that true? So whatever expectations, assumptions and expectations, just notice that. Just notice, okay? The next one is recognize and know. What is it about the situation you can say you recognize and know? Hmm. Well, I recognize that Donald Trump only became president. He didn't really plan on actually winning. He only did it really to get back at somebody, from what I remember, or to make NBC give him a higher salary. Donald Trump, this is how Donald Trump has operated from the get go. He didn't suddenly change characters, that's for sure. Well, I know that this person's character is one of unscrupulousness and willing to do ruthlessness to get ahead. So taking a polling station, Lord, I should be lucky he hasn't tried to set people on fire to get his way. I mean, if he could turn slaves into oil, he'd probably do it. So, so it could get much worse. People are openly calling him a Nazi sympathizer these days. He posts videos of people saying white power and Nazi salutes. So he could be much worse than we even know. Taking up polling stations might be just be him being kind, really. Also, I know that my feelings about this are mine to manage because he won't manage them. And feeling all kinds of stuff is just making it harder, not making it easier. It's taking the fight out of me instead of making me more empowered or more wanting to fight. And that's not just Donald Trump. That's also my response to Donald Trump, which is at either rate my responsibility, not his. Oh. Okay, next one. The next one is understand and acknowledge. What is it about this situation? Can you say you understand or acknowledge? Well, I understand I have to listen to these feelings and do what's right for me. I understand that if I care about my civic duty, I've got to realize that in my own way. Actually, Donald Trump's given me a great opportunity to stand up for my civic duty. I understand there's a lot of fraud in the system, and he's just showing us. I mean, that kind of makes him a wise teacher, really. He is showing us the fraud. I understand he is showing us the fraud pretty openly, radically openly. Like, I mean, the whole system's full of fraud. I mean, we could have a whole Marxist discussion around how capitalism itself is all about screwing over working class people. We could also have a conversation about how half of the world lives off of what, $2 a day. If you have enough money and lawyers and whatnot, you can skew anything toward your advantage often. Take other people's ideas. Several famous people in history are who they are because they took other people's ideas. There's even a whole show on Bravo right now called Imposters. That's all about faking who you are. It's a whole series of people who are faking who they are to make things happen. Okay. I mean, yeah. How many times in life do we fake it to get the job or fake it to get along with somebody? We're whole world full of faking it. Oh, I said fraud. Well, faking it is fraud. Big fraud, little frauds. Hmm. Hmm. Buying a car you really can't afford, clothes you really can't afford, so you can look good in front of other people. Faking that you like someone. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, even in arguments are what maybe should have been an argument with people. You didn't want to have the argument, so you faked getting along. Whole world full of faking it. Donald Trump brings up how I feel about all that faking it, especially when other people fake it. But he offers an opportunity for me to look at how I fake it too. What kind of fraud am I committing in my own life? Well, one other thing I also understand, or actually, we can move to accept. What's something about the situation, whatever you picked, what's something about the situation you accept? And what came up for me is what I accept is you only get one vote. So I mean, literally one vote. If they could print out all the votes and you saw your one vote, I mean, I mean, you only get one vote. So I mean, whether you get what you want or don't get what you want, you only actually get one vote. Everything else is outside of your control. You know. Received on time. At best, you only get one vote. And in so many ways, you don't even get one vote. And for so much of this country's history, so many of us were not even considered full people or had any rights to vote at all. And even though now we have the right to vote, there's a million things keeping us from actually actualizing it. And so one could say, that says right there, how much can you actually vote, right? Is your vote equal, right? And they've done studies on your, these days. Basically, your money is your vote, right? So you donate $1 million to the Democratic Party, you have much more of a vote than if you just vote during the election. Okay, so it's the reason why we have Biden and Kamala Harris instead of Bernie Sanders. Okay, so that's something else that would be a great worksheet to do. Okay, but so I accept. Well, this is it. This is the point. I accept I only get one vote at best. Okay. And then I accept that the next day life will go on, whatever happens. You know, Trump got elected and life moved on. COVID-19 is happening right now. Life's still moving on. Nothing, no freeze frame happened. I didn't see anyone push a pause button. I'm still moving toward being 39. It still happened. Life's still going on. Whatever happened. Even if the worst thing happens, your arms fall off, you know, it's still the next day.
And if there ever isn't the next day, then there's nothing to worry about. So that's kind of a gift too, if you think about it, really. Even if you're in pain, even if you suffer with pain, there's still the next moment. You can't know the next moment doesn't have, the next moment has pain. You can't know the next moment has pain. The next moment always offers a possibility. And even if the next moment has pain, it might also have pleasure involved in it, or a friendship, or a drug that might help you, or a cure, or just an opportunity to be kinder to yourself, or who knows what. You know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's the final part. Love. What is it about this thing you said you hated? You said you hated this thing. So what's something about it you can say you love? Well, I love that I'm responsible for my emotional well-being and not Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's emotional well-being looks horrible. His emotional management looks horrible. So thank God I'm taking care of my own feelings. I do love all the activism I've seen going on lately. Everybody rising up. I love that. Well, I mean, I love all the Black Lives Matter stuff rising up. That's been nice to see. And I've loved all the people, having their saying things about race, critical things about race. And I have a million critical things I'm reading on Facebook that I love. These days, I don't even have to say anything. I'm just posting yes, 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 and sharing stuff that other people have. What else do I love? I love that we even have a civic culture. We have post office, a postal service, public school. I'm glad we have those things. We could live in a country that didn't have those things at all. Or, you had to pay to have those things. Or, some people had them and some people didn't. I think we should have more state services like that. I wish I could say I love the tenacity. I love Donald Trump's tenacity. I mean, you got to give it to the guy. I mean, you got to give it to Hitler, I guess, too. He was bold. People have bold ideas. I mean, you might burn the whole world up with your bold idea, but I'll give you credit for having tenacity. Okay. Okay. So just take in how you feel. You just went through your whole emotional universe from hate all the way to love. That's quite a trip, okay? So just take in how you feel, and to give ourselves some validation to help us start some new neural pathways in our brain to overcome our negative beliefs. We're going to say these validation statements to ourselves. Okay. Anytime we feel things, we need to say these validations, say these statements to ourselves. And if these statements don't work for you, whatever statements you need that do work for you, please say them. Okay. I love myself. I love myself even when I am pissed about what Trump is doing, about Trump being a petulant child. I love myself even when Trump is a petulant child. I accept that Trump is going to do what he does, and I'm going to feel frustrated about it. I have every right to feel as frustrated as I feel. Anyone who went through what I'm going through would feel that way. I'm worthy enough to feel this sadness and frustration because these feelings matter to me. Just like my vote mattered, these feelings matter to me. I'm voting for my feelings. I can't accept how confused and hurt and puzzled I feel, but I know that the next day will still go on. Life will still go on, and I only get one vote anyway, and life will still go on. There will be another opportunity to stand up, fight back. As long as there's a breath, there's an opportunity. I don't totally understand how I feel right now about Trump and this mailbox is being taken away. And I don't need to. I can give it time and space and rest. Time and space and rest. I don't need anyone's approval to be okay with how I feel about Trump in these mailboxes. And then my personal favorite is I let go of Trump. I let go of these mailboxes. I let go of voting. I let go of being an American. I let go of planet Earth. I let go of everything because love is letting go. Because love is letting go. Okay. So those are statements I wrote. Some came from a book, some came from me. But whatever statements work for you, go ahead and use them. Honestly, just saying, yo, you, good for you for feeling this stuff out. I'm proud of you. Good job, dude. Even that can take you light years toward getting in touch with validating your feelings, okay? If we don't validate our feelings, our body will shut down and won't want to feel them. So we have to make space to say, hey, good job. You let yourself feel that. Even if it's just a tiny wiggle of a feeling. Hey, good for you for making space for that feeling. Can I give you more time and space? You have every right to have that wiggle. Anyone who went through what you went through would have had that reaction. Okay. Create some softness inside ourselves. Okay. Okay, so let's keep moving because the next part of this is the final part, which is the Byron Katie Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. So this is worksheet here is for someone who wants to print this. We're going to print all this out. So I think if you Google Byron Katie worksheet, we can get a fillable worksheet here. Like so. Okay, now this worksheet looks a little different, but it's the same terms. So the way this Byron Katie worksheet, the way it works is that you write down something that bugs you. And then you go through a process of turning those statements around by asking yourself first 4 questions. Is it true? Can you know it's true? Absolutely. How do you react when you believe that thought? And who would you be without the thought? And then you go to each statement and you turn them around. You make it about yourself. You make it about the other. And then you try opposites, whatever opposites of the thought you can think of, okay? And so you write the whole worksheet down. Then for each one of these questions, you go up to 1, do the 4 questions, and then the turnarounds. Number 2, 4 questions and turnarounds, okay? So that's the process for doing this worksheet. So our final thing here is to do this worksheet. And you can all Google Byron Katie later if you want to know who she is and look at, she's actually an amazing human being. And I met her last year, actually. There's a video on YouTube of me meeting her, actually. She gave a talk at my school. But anyway, that's all for some other time. So now this is another opportunity here. So if anybody has a problem, a situation that anger, confuses, hurts, saddens, something bugging you, and you would like to do, you would like your example to be in this worksheet, then go ahead and say or type your situation out. Go ahead and say and type your situation out. If nobody picks anything, then I'll think of something. Stay in your meditation. This is all meditative. That's the beauty of this whole process. This is all staying in our feelings, okay? We don't have to sit in silence and tune out and try not to think of anything. We can think about all the crap that's actually bugging us and apply it to these processes. You get good at this worksheet, you can do this in your mind eventually, okay? Okay, well, let's see. What's something bugging me today? I did the mailbox example. Yeah, I have another example. There's somebody I'm kind of interested in. I moved to the Santa Cruz and I'm kind of interested in this person, but this person, they broke up with their partner, I guess, some months ago, and it must have been pretty hard. And or I should say that their partner broke up with them, and it must have been pretty hard. And then they were kicked out of their grad program um, because of all things in the world, their research takes place in Wuhan, China, and as a result of COVID-19 and the lockdowns and the restrictions and the United States not getting its act together and Donald Trump, he essentially got booted out of his program, and so he's in a well, he's in a rough place. He's got to figure out what he's going to do, and he can't find he's got to struggle with financially to figure out how he's going to get by, and he's in a rough place. Okay. And I would like to be here for this person, but at the same time, I recognize that, well, I would like to. So on several occasions, we've made plans to do something, and then he'll just kind of like can't make it happen or cancel at the last minute, or I get the impression he's really upset, but then he won't open up and tell me he's really upset. So that's bugging me. So let's, and if anybody's hearing these words and wants to help me out with the sentence, please feel free to help me. Please feel free to help me. Let me make that very clear, okay? We're all learning here. Okay, so if I said what bugged me here, it would be I'm a little frustrated with, let me not use this person's name. I'll call him Cody. How about that? That's a different ex I have named Cody. So I'll call him Cody. Because he won't open up about just how really hard things are going for him. So I can help him, because that's the other part of it. I would like to offer, well, I can offer help. Okay, that works for me. Okay, number two. Number two is, how do you want him or her to change? What do you want him to do? I mean, what do you want him to do? What do you want? The point is the wants. I want Cody to open up. Share his feelings. Completely. Not just a little. Tell me how much he is struggling so I can offer ideas. Yeah, let me start talking. I like that. Well, he does talk though. To his credit, he does talk. He just there's a lot not getting said. Talk a lot more. Oh, wait, hold on. Talk more. So I can offer ideas and help. I'm just going to go back to that. Him to be vulnerable. Oh, Jesus. Oh, let's see. Him to be vulnerable and trust me. That is it. You know what? Let's move that one here. Let's move that one here. Oh, good. Okay. I want Cody should trust me. Whew, Cody should trust me. He should trust me. He should be more vulnerable. There you go. Should be more vulnerable when we spend time together. And the beautiful thing about this, okay, you don't know this person, but you know what? You have your own situation like this. You've been through this before with somebody, maybe a loved one, a date of yours, a partner. You've been through this. So put yourself in that situation, okay? My situation is your situation. We have the same mind, same problems, same thoughts, same mind, okay? So yeah. I like the open up. Yeah, I like the open up too. Let's see. I'll put it here. Trust me.
open up. I see. Is there any other shoulds? And then are there any shouldn'ts? Anything he shouldn't do? Try to struggle on his own. Become homeless. Let's go with that one there, okay? Shouldn't hold it in. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Number 4. In order, not effective, which leads to things accumulating. That is, no kidding. No kidding. And number 4, in order for you to be happy in this situation, what do you need them to think, say, feel, or do? What are the needs here? I need him. I need him. I need him. Well, it's all the same things, I guess, right? I mean, well, the whole idea here is it's for you to be happy. So, I mean, to go from whatever you feel right now, to go from whatever you feel right now, annoyed, frustrated, hungry, hangry, to go from hangry to happy. You had a magic wand. What do you need? I need him to rely on my wisdom. Listen to me about how to survive the hard times. Oh, shit. Oh, here it is. Listen to me about how to survive the hard times. I need him. I need him. I need him. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. To not struggle by themselves. To know you don't ever have to struggle by yourself. Okay. Oh, you two are wonderful. I appreciate you two so much. What do you think of them in this situation? Make a list. It's okay to be petty and judgmental. In fact, it's more than okay. I say go for it. Let your ego just ba-boom. How do I feel about this guy? Hey, for what it's worth, I invited him to this class and he didn't come. So you know what? Such is the way of it. And good, because I can use him as this example. Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom. Okay, so what do I think of him in this situation? Cody is, the word that comes up is like tough like a fool, like fool tough.